Thank you for attending our webinar. What we're going to do is share some experiences with you in terms of how it is possible to manage master data in a very simple and effective way using Excel front ends as a tool. Our agenda today is to go through a simple topic, managing master data, and if I do this properly, how it can help me save some time. So we're going to be talking about saving time and ease of use. We're lucky to have today one of our customers who have been a pioneer in this space, the CIO from Adveo, Luis Ramos, is going to be joining us, and he'll be sharing with us his experience and the journey that his company went through, the benefits that they got, the rationale of why they went down this journey as well. So, in a nutshell, what we're going to be covering is we're going to have a quick introduction about who we are, Cordis Solutions, a quick introduction about Adveo and the sort of things we do. Then we're going to hand over to Lewis, who's going to give us the Adveo experience sharing. And again, guys, this is very important. This is not a pitch from a vendor, but it's actually somebody who's using the application with a view of what benefit they're going to get and why they went down this journey. So Lewis is going to share some true stories with you. So he'll take you through the benefits case, he'll walk you through some of the features that they're using and some of the values the application's adding. And then once that's finished, Lewis will hand over back to me, and then I'll give you a live demonstration of the application. So if there is any questions you want to see or any features of the application you want to see, please can you use your question box, send them in right now. Juliana, who's moderating the webinar, will pick them up and feed them to me, and we'll go through them in the live demonstration. On that note, let's go into the next slide. My name is Ramesh Vasani. I'm one of the directors for Cordis Solutions. I've been an accounting and management consultant for about 25 years, and I love to make things easy for people. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about myself. I'm going to hand over to Luis later on to give an introduction as well. But they're the two people. And Luis Ramos is a CIO of Adveo, and again, he's taken on a very big project of transformation of the Adveo projects and the way they're using SAP. So Luis will tell you a little bit more about what he's doing and the big changes he's taking on board, and the small role, but important role, that master data plays in his whole journey. A little bit about Cordis without too much. We're a software and a business consultancy company whose prime objective is to help organizations get more from the investment that they've made in technology. And the two pieces of technology we're very passionate about is Microsoft and SAP. In addition to picking up both of those technologies, what we've tried to do is pick up on the concept that people are changing in their nature and the way they work. They want to be able to work anywhere, anytime, and they want to also be able to work without much training. They want the applications to be easy to use. So what we've done is we've taken on business problems like master data and how to manage it and how to create it and how to update it. We've tried to give it a front end, a look and feel, either in Excel or in a web front end, that people find it easy to use and intuitive, and they can do this anytime, any place, anywhere, and then support the mobile culture of, look, I can work and I should be able to work from my laptop, from my tablet, if I'm waiting in an airport lounge or if I'm in a coffee shop. So that's the sort of things what we've tried to do, is build applications to address little business problems, to manage the changing nature of how we are behaving as humans. What we have done is, by looking at this whole area, we've built a bunch of applications in HR, in approvals, in purchasing, in master data, and in finance. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through one application in particular, myMasterData, and we're going to be using the materials as a mechanism to actually see what we can do with it. On this note, I'm now going to hand over to Lewis to tell us a little bit about Adveo.
Okay, thanks, Ramesh. Okay, so who is Adveo? So this is Adveo. We are a leading company in Europe. We distribute workspace, workplace, and education material and solutions. And we are a public listed company in the stock exchange here in Madrid. The company has a headcount of 1,200 professionals. We have 17,000 customers across Europe, and we own several warehouse facilities that more or less is around 100, yeah, I think 100, it will be 100,000 square meters. We are based in Madrid, and our operations are in, I think, continental Europe, which is basically 9 countries: Spain for sure, France, Germany, Austria, Italy, Benelux, Netherlands, Luxembourg, and Portugal. We have a strategic plan. All our industry is being challenged by the new digital economy, so we have produced a strategic plan which is based in 4 pillars. First of all is not just thinking on the reseller, which is probably the first thing that a wholesaler does, but thinking on the end customer. That is what it is, end customer centricity. The second thing is we own a quite big range of products and families. It's like 1,000 hierarchical products and families, and 250,000 products, more or less, we manipulate at our warehouse and logistics. So we need a very flexible and efficient logistics. And finally, we have, in all of this plan, designed a new digital IT platform. Why it's digital? It's not because it's the fancy word in our days, it's because it's 100% cloud. So we have a platform that is in a pay-per-use, completely pay-per-use way, that is very useful, very usable or user-friendly by our users. And here is where, for example, Cordis solutions perfectly fit. It's very agile. That means that we are running out-of-the-box solution based on best practice. So we try to minimize, and we really manage to get minimize specific development for Adveo. We work with technology that is best of breed, but we adapt ourselves to that technology. That enables us to move very quickly in upgrades and evolution of our technology. And then we have quite a number of data to manage. So we have starting a big data platform to analyze a big number of big bunch of products. So this is Adveo. Okay, so what are the challenges we are facing right now? First of all, we have a very decentralized, in general, decentralized company. So we work as silos. Every business unit, every country works as it will be a unique company. So it's quite complex to have a cross-border logistics, cross-border analytics, because every country has its own material master data or material product master. So we are now, the first thing in our agenda was to put all that data together to make feasible all the synergies within the company. When we did that, we found out that the material master data is not harmonized. We have duplicities, we have overlaps, we have not one-to-one, the hierarchies are different. All that harmonization has been done traditionally manually in the company. So we have 60 people around the company typing material master data that normally are overlapped with different hierarchies, attributes. So we have quite a complex thing. And it was impossible to create a unique global product catalog. So there's a very time-consuming activity. It's very difficult for us to generate harmonized analytics in the company to make decisions. For example, central global purchasing. How do we do that if the material master data is not unique? So logistics is as well very much affected because we cannot produce harmonized logistics and procurement. So we are doing a big change all across the company. One of the things we are doing is, apart from the enterprise applications, moving it to the cloud and generating some synergies across them, we are also we have migrated to Office 365. So now Microsoft as the user application or user experience is at the center of all employees in the company. And based on that, it has been quite easy to introduce the Cordis solutions that are able to manage SAP behind the scenes, but the look and feel and the way the user works with that data is based on this, in this case, Excel. So that's a very common tool for users, and there is no impact in transforming the way they usually work. So this is our challenges at this point. So what is our goals here? First of all, is clear. We have to harmonize our product catalog, because this will enable the synergies and the savings in procurement and logistics. The second thing is, nowadays, as I said before, 60 people are working in different databases to create products in different channels, digital channels, online channels, physical channels. So now we have to streamline the way we create products in the company. And normally it takes more than 1 week to create products since someone decides to create until everything is validated, the codes are not overlap any longer, blah, blah. So this takes days. And now we are going to move it to hours with the new process. We have also now to take advantage of that creation to gain a lot of agility in the market, especially in the digital channels. So we are going to use that lever to move faster in the time to market, creating products in the different catalogs. And at the end of the day, we are going to generate more money for the company. So this is more or less our objectives at this point. Okay, so I think now next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to project a real case that we are using nowadays to create products in the company. It's more or less a 3 minutes video. So I will be launching the video, trying to explain as the video is being played where we are, what we are doing. If there is any question, we can pause and try to respond, but further later on this presentation with this webinar, Ramesh will take control and will go in a real system and will reproduce this process in a real system. So we can see it completely, then probably afterwards in the real demo, you can also get back to any question. Okay, so we are using myMasterData, the solution from Cordis, to manage material master records and purchasing for records. I will show you now in reality how this works, and after that, as I said before, you will see it in the real life. Okay? So let's start the Excel, and the scenario is someone has requested to create new master data. Okay. So it is possible to update material master data or any master data that is configured in the system. Now we are going to focus in the material master data, which is the heaviest task for us. Okay, let me see if I can get back to, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So we are starting here. Hopefully you can see the screen. We are in an Excel. There is a new tab called up here, myMasterData. So then you use the get data and you start identifying what master data are you going to use, what are the key fields. So you start with that. So let me play again. Okay, now as you can see, we are selecting Adveo trading goods. So once the request is in, the system will present what fields need to be populated. In this case, we're going to create 4 new markers: black, yellow, magenta, and cyan. And the person creating the request does not exactly have to know all the exact information to enter in the application, as all the information that is shown in the Excel look and feel add-in. Once you tap anything, it goes to SAP and brings the data from SAP. So you can, it's like a match code in SAP. You can decide what next data is required in everything. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So now, as you see, this is the request, the comment. Okay, so we are typing. Someone wants to create that. Okay, as you can see, we are typing the material. We don't need to know every content, because once we tap on the match code, we will get back from the system all the data that we may require. As you can see, view what's data. This is the moment where the system goes to SAP and brings back what data can be published in the different cells. As this is an Excel, of course, all copy-paste functionalities is available, so it makes it very easy for the end user to create something that is very, very, tedious in SAP world, like creating master data, especially master data. We are going to create 4. We're just going to copy all the rest. Okay, and then we just change the number to put the different colors we're going to use: yellow, black, magenta, and black. So now we put cyan. Okay, so once this initial process, which is the request for creation this new product, is launched, there is a second role in the company, which will be the approver, or the person that will allow us to create the new product. Not every new product is created. So this person, when this is at submit, there is a submission or a request for creation a new master data. So the person that receives that request will complete some extra fields that are more global or more corporate ones, and based on that, the system will launch the creation of all the products and will receive back a confirmation that this request has been processed. Okay. So once you agree that everything is being processed, you just save the confirmation, and the system will create all those products. So now what we are doing is entering in SAP to check that all product master data we have sent to create and a request, and the creation has been approved and processed, that when we go to SAP, we find exactly the same products with the same description, with the number that we have requested for. Okay, so now we are seeing what products we complete the operation. It says, it confirms that all products has been created. We can see all data of those products, and now we're going to check that these products exist in SAP. So as you can see, we are checking that the marker has captured all the information coming from myMasterData of Cordis, and those data, when we select the right tab here, the sales organization, we will see that all those master data exist and has been created accordingly with all the information that was typed in the Excel, in the master data tab, Excel look and feel. But in the end, is completely connected online with SAP. So I think that that's the complete picture of the video. As you can see, creating something, the ones that you are suffering SAP for a long time in the material master data, is really complex. We have a volatility of 20% of our products, so more or less every year we have to create between 40 and 50,000 products, and that is why there are so many people typing here on the information. With that process, as I said before, we are reducing the days that it will fill a complete process to just hours. 2-3 hours is, and the new, I mean, this enables as well to adapt all the workflow and the organization behind that process. So this has also streamlined the organization. So I think, Ramesh, from my side, we've shown what we are using at this point in Adveo. We can go afterwards to any question that could be, coming from the audience. But I hand the presentation back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Lewis. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to do a live demonstration. I'm going to go through some of the things that Lewis showed us. And again, this is where we've got a few questions. So we're going to go through some areas that people have asked us to show right. A bit more time. Okay, so first and foremost, the application, as we said, has a front end. Now, I could request a master data to be created either through a web front end. We have it over here, a small theory tile type approach. And here I can go into this tile and say, look, create me some new master data. As Luis mentioned, the application can work across any master data. Now, here you can't see the colors better. As you can see, if you do a drop down, I got master data and I've got vendor master data. Okay. Now I'm going to choose material master as it is. I'm going to change the industry to be engineering. What I'm going to say is requested by Ramesh, and I'm going to say I need 3 new material like material pink 01. So I can do anything I want over here. I can put an attachment. I can send it an Excel sheet. I'm giving a critical when I want it as well. I want these items to be completed by tomorrow, and I'm requesting it today. The priority is critical because big sale. Okay, so then I basically initialize it. As soon as I initialize it, the system gives me a number. This number is quite important because that's all you really need. This makes the application quite unique. With this number, any mobile warrior, any professional using Excel can actually now start playing with this master data request. I'm just going to say OK so we can come out of that screen. I'm going to kick off Excel. Now before I kick off Excel, I've created this request through a web front end. I could have created this request also through the application Excel itself. But the key thing is, when I create this application, who knows about it? So in this situation, if I go to Outlook and I log in over here as Mark, now in this group, Mark and Mary and Edward all belong into the same group. And a sales executive could have initiated this request and has gone to 3 people saying, look, a new master data request 144 has been initiated and they need your attention. Here's my comments. We need 3 new materials like Pink 01 for a big sales deal, and I need this completed by the 17th of November. If there was an attachment, I'll be able to open it up and I can look at it. But that's all I need. All I need is literally this numbers over here. If I just cut and paste these characters, Control C, and I kick off Excel, and I go to master data, and I say get data. I cut and paste that I initiate the item, and I say, look, somebody has initiated this. Let me see what it is, and I map it. The system now is basically going back to SAP, bringing back the item. Okay, and it says, right, what do you want to do? Now over here, the initiation was to create brand new material. If I go back, you can see how the screen differs. If I go back and I do this again, but this time I'm going to do it by saying I want to do a copy, instead of doing create over here materials, I use copy. You can see how the item is a little bit easier to use. I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to use the 17 requested by this. I'm going to use Juliana. I'm going to say again, same text I had. Please use pink 01 as base and create 3 new materials. Okay. Obviously, you wouldn't employ me as a code typist because my typing skills aren't very good. But let's just initialize it. As soon as I do that again, another request number comes up. And again, I've got an email for that. So the only reason why I did this is to show you how flexible the application is. If I now go back over here to get data, and I cut and paste that number, with this will change it to 5, and I do initiation again, you'll see the system is very intuitive. There's no templates. I'm using naked SAP, Excel, and it's creating the template automatically for me. So everything is back-end driven. In this situation, let's carry on. Now, I've been given instructions to create 3 new materials using ping 01 as a base material. So I can say, right, let's do that. Call it laptop 2, or whatever. Let's call it, anything you like, today's demo. Right now, anything I put over here can be a temporary number. Because if I'm using SAP properly, it's very, very typical that I'm going to have SAP defined user numbering, which will overwrite my request number. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm just going to put in something over here called, I don't know, lap 01, blue, lap 02, black, and we call it this one lap 03, and we call that side white. I can give a description, colorful laptops, color laptops, and I'm going to cut and paste this description. And this is where the fun begins. Now, I need this material for my local plant. If I hit value help, it's connecting to SAP, and it's telling me what plants I can create this material for. In this case, I'm going to use 2000. I like that. I'm going to carry on with this thing. It says storage location. I don't know what storage location belong in that plant. So I'll hit value help. It says, look, in there's only 4 storage locations. I choose one. Sales organization, I don't know again. I hit value help. It brings up the whole thing. I select one. Distribution channel, same thing. I don't know, but I'll say I'm going to use it for final customer serve. Now this bit's fun. Because I use a copy option, it says, who do you want to copy this from? Here I can say, look, I don't know, but again, I know the material's already in existence. So it's in our existing plant 2000. So I can populate that. And I can also go over here and say, look, the note over here said, I need to create a material similar to what we had before called pink. So I can type in PINK and a star. And I'm going to narrow the search down by putting in here, say, look, go only look in plant 2000 and see if you can find anything for me. It's now going away with SAP. There it is, ping 01. All right, so let's choose that. And I say, OK. So I've got my reference material. I'm going to say, give it some values and say, look, all the other pieces I want you to pick up from this material. So therefore, it makes my life easy. Okay, and reference distribution channel, again, value help, we need to be final customer. Now, at this stage, I can be very lazy. And I said, all of those things which I've just done, I'm just going to Control C and Control V. Done. Okay? Reference is the same. The uniqueness is over here. I'm going to call it lap 01, lap 02. Let's tidy this up and call this black and call this white. Okay? It's very simple as that. At this stage, I submit it. Now, as soon as I submit it, it's connecting to SAP and it's saying, right, fine, I've now done this and I've updated this number. Okay? Now, here, what we've done in the back-end system, we've said, look, in Material Master Records, there are over 6,000 fields. We as a business do not use 6,000 fields. All right? We're using a handful. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up this little tab over here. And in here, I'm going to map some more data. Okay? And here, what I'm going to do, I'm just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to put a dashboard over here. So if I go back and type in 5 lots of zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 145, and I'm going to put the dashboard there. So here I can track how my request is going. So right now we saw that somebody had initiated it, a guy called Mark, and he's done his stuff and he's filled in the basic data. Well, filled in the initiation basically. Now I've got another 4 people in this chain. In this case, for demonstration purposes, they're all the same person, Mark. In reality, it will be different people getting workflows through emails. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is I'm going to play the role of all those different people, filling in the different views or types of data that they need to type in. So I'm going to go back over here. I'm just going to say right now, show me the basic data. So it's now got the basic data back, and it's saying, right, fine, here's a colorful laptop, blue one too, here's a manufacturer's part number. If I know the manufacturer's part number, I can plonk it in. The weight, I'm going to change. I'm going to say, look, the blue laptops is 5 kgs, this one's 6 kgs, and this one's 7 kgs. Yeah, so I can play with the data however I want. Material group, product hierarchy, anything I want to play with, I can. I can check and see if I've filled in all the fields and this is validation successful. So then I can say, you know what, I'm ready to go, submit it. So now the second person who was responsible for the basic data has done their work. I can carry on and pretend I'm now the third person. So again, the same situation, the third person will get an email request. They'll pick up the item, obviously, and they will start working away. So let's quickly go and pretend we're the third person. So if I go back to this, I'm going to map this thing over here to be basically the plant data. Yes, it's got them all back. I'm quickly going to validate it, see if there's anything I need to fill in. Apparently everything's okay, so I can just submit it. Now this is the beauty about obviously copying from reference. So I can be the separate person, and if there's anything I need to change, I change. Otherwise, I accept it as it is. And I'm now going to play the role of the accounting person. Matt, let's go for it. Here I will make some changes. I'm going to say the price of the material is £2,000 for the first one. This one is 2,500, and this one's 3,000. The white laptop's the most expensive, and I'm going to submit it. So I change whatever data I need to, otherwise the system knows what it has to do. And here the idea behind this is to improve accuracy. If I'm giving the people the data that they need to do and just maintain what they need to maintain, they're likely to be more accurate. And everybody knows if the data is accurate in SAP, SAP works a lot better. So let's work on the last item. And now I'm down to the account and sales data. Now, at this stage, I'm going to leave this as it is. I'm just quickly going to go to the dashboard. We last looked at the dashboard when we were at initiation stage. If I now refresh the dashboard, you'll see that the basic data has been done, the plant data has been done, the accounting data has been done. We're only waiting for the sales data to be updated. So here I'm keeping track of what's exactly happening with my request. So let's go back to the sales data. Here again, if there's anything I wanted to change, I can change. If I'm happy with everything as it is, I simply can just check it if I wanted to by simply validating it. And it says, yeah, it looks okay, and I can submit it. Now, I want you to make one very simple observation. I've now done everything, and all the 4 people involved in this process, they've done their bit. If I now go back to the dashboard and I refresh my screen, you'll see the last person who was before was initiated will hopefully now be submitted. So everything's now completed, is ready to be posted into SAP. It is ready, but this option of posting to SAP is grayed out. As you can see right at the top over here, the option is grayed out. Now, I can obviously, if there was any during this thing, if I want to talk to somebody by email, I can create an email message and everything else as well. But that's another session. But more importantly, Mark does not have the privilege to actually create this thing directly in SAP yet, because this is saying it's grayed out. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to quickly just log off, and I'm going to log back in, and this I'm going to log back in as Mary, the person who is the data administrator, who's got the right privileges in SAP to post data. So I'm going to go in here, go to System Settings, and I'm going to flick over, and I'm going to flick over to become Mary and make Mary active. Close. So here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same thing again. Mary would have got an email saying all the people engaged with the master data process for request number 5, lots of zeros, 145, have done their pieces of work. So I put in 5, lots of zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 4, 5, and I say, show me the dashboard. Okay, so Mary can choose at this stage to see the high level view that everyone's done everything, and you notice that she's got this option for this green tick, whereas the other person did not have. And she can also say, you know what, let me quickly review what Mark did for accounting. Not a problem. So she can just simply say, look, let me review what Mark did for accounting by looking at accounting. And just say, look, show me what Mark did for accounting. Oh, that's fine. That looks good. Mark's changed the prices for those materials. That looks about right. So then she can go back to the dashboard and say, yep, I'm happy with my basic sanity check. I'm ready to have these items created in SAP by simply pressing this button called Complete Operations. Now, here I am, just pressing the button, and as soon as I've done that, the system's now connecting to SAP, and it's going to create these items straight away in SAP. Now, whilst it's thinking, I am going to log on to SAP. It says data posted successfully for the request. So if I log on to SAP, over here, display materials, and I type in the same numbering convention as what I've got on my spreadsheet, but for lap 01 space blue, and I say, show me the data for plant 2000, there she is. Okay, lap 01 blue. Again, I can have this side by side to show you. So if I put this over here and have the Excel screen over here, you can see all the items which I've got on here. If I go to say the costing or the accounting screen, we have this at £2,000. Let's go look at the accounting screen over here. Map. What did I choose for it to be? It was, lo and behold, £2,000. So basically creating data online real time using Excel as a mechanism with the control and compliance of making sure its governance is done correctly, but passing over from one person to another. And that's effectively what myMasterData does. On that note, we're going to go over quickly to the last slide, and then we've got a handful of questions and answers which we'll take. So the summary up very quickly. If you look what we've just did, we created master data using an Excel sheet. It gave us a total flexibility. All the data sets that we had for the players, the accounting player, the sales player, that's all configurable. Okay, so it's a very flexible tool. And the key thing about it is, again, it is flexible. It makes sure that validation's happening as we're going along, as you saw right now. It makes sure that the right people are engaged, because you're defining the workflow that you need for those people to be engaged in. And it's also not following the SAP protocol of views. Here, because we're using a very flexible concept called data set, we can have any fields going to any person. The key benefits of this, just reiterating some of the things that Lewis spoke about, was something which perhaps could take a long time, 2 to 3 days or longer, can now realistically be done in 2 to 3 hours with improved governance and improved controls. The other piece over here, you saw we didn't use anything extra than Excel and SAP. So the other benefit of this application is you're using the technology that you already have. So it's about return on investment. And this is where one of the things which Lewis talked about before, they actually have achieved savings in terms of total cost of ownership of in excess of 33%. And that's one of the things which is probably a big win for this application. On this note, we're now going to hand over to Juliana, who's going to moderate and give us a few questions as they're coming in.
Right, the first question I've got is for Luis. Have you realized the benefit you expected?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as I said before, reducing that amount of time, part of the organization that is focused now in other more value-added activities, and being able to, I mean, this company usually work, and I think the industry, in a unique catalog per year that normally was produced beginning of the year, and with very little updates, we survive the rest of the year. Now we can face a scenario where we can update continuously our digital catalog with the help of Cordis, among two other technology we have added to recover the content and to publish the content. So I think that for sure we have get the payback of the investment very quickly, and we are very happy with having been able to use a technology that has been very easy to adopt by our users, and that has increased a lot the productivity of the company.
Thank you, Luis. The next question is, what infrastructure does the solution require?
Shall I take that, Julian?
Yeah.
The infrastructure is actually quite a simple one in here. As I said before, system is using a front end on someone's laptop or on a mobile device. That's infrastructure most people already have. In order for that basic kit or device to talk to SAP, is going through SAP NetWeaver Gateway. So the SAP NetWeaver Gateway is a protocol to handle the communication. And then from there, it's talking directly to the backend SAP ECC. Now, as I said, most people already have this infrastructure in place, and hence, in terms of additional hardware or expenditure to put in infrastructure, is little or none. Now, the other thing again, Lewis and Aveo have done something quite special. They've actually, go on, Lewis. Tell us what you've done.
I think that we have 5 SAPs running and a central one. So we have created a multi-tenant architecture, and Cordis has helped us create from a central SAP instance the different master data in the different business unit SAPs. So we have created a multi-tenant structure with that 6 SAPs we are running, and we have been able to use with some adaptation coming from Cordis that technology has been a multi-tenant technology. So I think in those scenarios where there are several SAPs, Cordis also it's a good solution, as it can based on these dimensions and technologic streams they have internally, they can allocate or distribute the data in different SAP clients across different SAP machines. So I think that it's also interesting to consider that multi-tenant approach as a potential one in case you may have several SAPs where the material master data is a process you want to streamline.
Okay, on that note, we've come to the end of our webinar. We're reaching the top of our time. We don't have any additional questions at this stage. So we'd like to thank everybody who attended. If you do need any more information, please do not hesitate to reach out to Juliana or touch on those links in Twitter, in LinkedIn, and YouTube, and we'll be happy to help you. Again, our thanks to Luis, to Juliana, and to you for attending the webinar.